Stand by. Is this thing on?
Yes, Dan.
Oh, hello.
You're listening to Old News with Dan and Carrie.
This just in.
Breaking news to report.
We are live.
Old newscasters
Can we just say former?
Sure. Former newscasters reunite behind the mic after more than 20 years.
Old news is good news.
Stay tuned.
Hey, I know you.
Hey, I know you.
Long time ago, there was somebody I used to work with who looked a lot like you.
Ringing a bell, but I'm not totally sure.
I mean, she had a little less hair, and I had a lot more back then. So,
Maybe a few less wrinkles right here.
I
I'm
don't see
talking
any
about
wrinkles.
myself.
They're all hidden by this wonderful Zoom technology.
No. We're trying to use our new backgrounds, which are so cool. Shout out Greg Sheevy Photo. But we're
Yes.
noticing that parts of us are disappearing and reappearing when we use the cool background.
And every time you watch the show, it's going to be 2:30. It's always
Yes.
2:30 for old news.
Always 2:30. All right. So what is the purpose of this intro episode? We are going to explain who the heck we are and why we're doing the show.
So who are you?
Well, I am Carrie, and 1,000 years ago, Dan and I were morning news anchors for WKOW, the ABC affiliate in Madison, Wisconsin. And our show is called 27 First News, and we
First
were the
News.
first morning news show on that station.
So long. It was 1,000 years ago, wasn't it?
It was 1,000 years ago.
We look pretty good for 1,000 years.
Hey, I mean, only decomposing a little, just a little bit.
Oh, those were the days, Carrie. Do you remember when we first started that show? Oh my gosh. I just remember having stacks of tapes and a lot of swear words and
Yeah.
just getting on air like with 30 seconds to go and barely having my hair combed.
Yeah. Oh, I slapped on makeup 5 seconds before we went on today just to relive the old days, when I would like run to the I'm like 5 minutes, let's do some makeup and hair. And I'd run to the bathroom, blah, 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 and then go running to the studio just in time to say, good morning. Welcome to 27 First News.
I never did makeup. I just went on.
You just a little powder, maybe
With this
foundation.
With this forehead, there'd be a lot of sweating. I should tell people my name is Dan. I'm Dan.
Oh, yeah. We should.
That's
Yeah.
Carrie.
Yeah. Wherever. Actually, I was the way you are in my
Oh.
screen, you're above. We're kind of Brady Bunch. Like you're up, I'm down.
Plus, I should be looking down like that.
And
Yeah.
I'll look up. Except who knows what it'll really look like in the replay. So
Well-
we are. Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, please.
No,
please.
after you.
Well, as you said, this wonderful background is made by Greg Sheevy of Sheevy.
Woohoo!
And Greg is also an old news guy. He worked
Yes.
at WKOW with us. He was the chief photographer there. And, we worked with a lot of people and some people who actually went on to much bigger and better things in the news world, unlike Carrie and I, who decided to fail.
We're like, we're out of here.
But those are still great days and we still remember
yeah.
them fondly. And, we hope we can bring some of that to people who are listening to this along the way. And also, we are hoping to do interviews with people who we used to work with and some folks who, and we have some folks set up already. Some folks who we will, I think you're going to enjoy listening to them because they're much better than we are.
Yeah, we're going to catch up with old friends. So let's talk about the purpose. Why are we here? So we've already told you that we're former news anchors, and then we haven't been together on air for 4 years. It's been a heck of a while. So we wanted to reunite now that our children are out of the house, we're empty nesters, and we still have such a good time when we, talk on the phone or get together when we're, when I'm visiting Madison. I said, you know what, Dan, it's time. Let's do a podcast. And he came up with the brilliant title of Old News, which makes me giggle every time I hear it. So we're going for it.
And we did. We always had a lot of fun when we were doing 27 First News back in the day. And we hope that people have some fun when they listen to us and join us for these newscasts. Newscasts. I'm going to call it a newscast. Still ahead on
3, 2, 1. You just can't help but count it down,
Where's Ed and Steve Rohr when you need them?
Oh man,
We'll have
we
to
had
have
the
Steve
best
on.
crew. I know. I
Yeah,
know. I was
so
thinking
I
about
mean,
Todd, the whole gang.
uh, Todd Vasky, and he's still in the business too. So
Yeah.
so many people. But yeah, I mean, I thought Carrie's idea was great because, what have we been doing for 20 years but waiting for old news to happen?
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know about you, Carrie, but I've just been kind of like hanging out in my backyard, cutting the grass, doing stuff like that. And when you said, "Hey, let's do a podcast," I was like, I've got the perfect name, and that's all I had. And then you developed the rest of it. So that's really the good part of it.
No, it's I'm so excited about this project. Our plan is to catch up with old friends that we used to work with, and also no topic is off limits. If we're curious about it, if we want to learn more, we're going to go for it. And the nice thing about this format is we have all the time in the world. When you're in news, it's so time restricted and you've got 20 seconds to tell a story, or 35 seconds, or a minute 15 if it's a whole package. And now it's like we can drone on and on and on. There's no limits.
And you can just pause us if you want. That's
That's
okay.
right. Skip ahead. We won't judge.
Well, now too, though, I mean, you say news is limited by time constraints, but they also have news on like 24/7 compared to when we were
Oh
doing it.
gosh.
It's a tough biz. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is. But man, those memories. We had a rough schedule, as I mean, any third shifter will know. It's hard to work that shift and then try to maintain a normal life. And then we had some good old spells where we had no producer. We'd produce ourselves, get in at 12:30 in the morning. Those were interesting days. Learned a
But
lot about myself.
the beauty of that, though, was like when we were producing, like we produced for so long that I think I had one year when we were doing the show, I had pretty much the whole month of December off in comp time.
That's right.
It was like the December of Dan. And I just,
Oh my
you know,
gosh, that's a beautiful thing.
hung out at home, did work around the house. And my wife, who's a teacher and is still teaching, and she had off. So it was great.
Yeah.
Those were the good
That's
old times.
called looking at the bright side.
Right.
Looking at the
Yeah.
bright
Well,
side.
me, Kara, I am an optimist.
You are an
I'm more so.
eternal, a cockeyed optimist.
And I have a passion for theater.
Yes, you do. And I as well. And I as well. Actually, music is something for real that we both love, and theater. And so we'll definitely be sprinkling some music into the show, whether we're interviewing people or maybe we'll all learn a new instrument together. You never know. We're not putting limits on this.
Word has it, there is some ukulele experts on this show. So
Not me. I'm a
nor
mere
I.
a mere campfire strummer.
Oh, good. Have you seen that one commercial where they,
Yes.
yeah,
I know what you're well, continue
the,
because I cut you
yeah,
off already.
the one where the guy's like he's gonna play his ukulele and everybody's like, "Don't let friends play ukulele."
Yes, I'm offended.
I
I
thought you
am
would be. Yeah.
I am completely offended. I'm like, you know what? I would sit with that guy and I would enjoy his music. I'm on his side.
So other than playing the ukulele and
Mhm.
growing your hair for the last 20 years,
Yeah.
what have you been
I have
doing?
I have birds living in here now. Well, we moved to Pittsburgh. So we actually first we moved to Illinois. We lived there 12 years, and that's when I left 27 First News. You left before me,
Yeah.
joining the corporate world,
Yes.
as you did.
The corporate communications world.
That's right. And I left because I was bursting with baby. I was 8 months pregnant, and we moved to Chicagoland for my husband's job. So, anywho, we were there for 12 years, and then my husband's work moved us to Pittsburgh. And Pittsburgh is a really hot market for TV and movies and all kinds of fun stuff. So, I've been dabbling in voiceovers and on camera work here, doing training videos, little stint on a Netflix show, and it's been a blast. I've had a lot of fun here.
Yeah, here we are watching a Netflix show, and suddenly Carrie pops up.
Very briefly, do
You're
not
basically a
blink.
movie star now,
That's
so
it. That's
yeah.
it. If you recognize me, it was from episode 5 of Archive 81. Do not blink. I'm right
And
off the top.
and you were playing something very near and dear to your heart, a news reporter.
That's right. I was traffic and weather.
Oh, you were traffic and weather. That's
Traffic and weather, yes, and I have hilarious bangs because they cut my bangs to make them look a little more, 90s,
yeah.
and my bangs weren't really going for that, so it's like, "Whir," so between every take, the poor woman doing hair, she came out and she'd try to straighten them and do something, and then they go, "Whir," so I just kinda look like Squiggy from, the old TV
She was,
show.
this is a disaster.
I know. "What are we gonna do? Recast, recast."
And that child you were pregnant with all those years ago is now
Yes.
out of college.
Yes, and getting married.
Yes, that's
Woo!
very exciting.
Yes.
When is the wedding?
January 4th. So
Wow.
I think this is gonna air after the wedding, but,
Oh, well,
yeah,
congratulations then.
thank you. Thank you so much.
That's pretty cool. And then you have
Yes.
one in college too.
Yes, I've got one in college playing lacrosse, and that's super fun. We love going to, see the team and get to know the kids on the team. They're wonderful young men, and all
Yeah,
yours are grown up, and you've
ours
got
are
a
all old.
grandbaby.
Yep. And I'll tell folks about that, but I mean, you're living in another great football area, Pittsburgh, obviously.
Mhm.
I'm obsessed with the Packers here in Wisconsin, as most people in Wisconsin are who like football are
Yes.
Packer obsessed. So it's kind of cool that you're actually in a cool part of the country for NFL football. I'm sure Aaron, your husband, enjoys that as well. But
Oh, yeah.
yeah, so
Yep.
that's cool. So I'm going to give you some crap about that when we're talking. I
Well
hopefully the Packers will improve.
well, warning, I know nothing. I just show up for the fun. So I did go to the Steelers-Packers game
I
because
know.
part of the 50th birthday celebration was that my high school friends came out. We all went to the game and it was very cool. I didn't know how that was going to go. Packers fans, Steelers fans, all in one place, but it was beautiful. They were both teams so cordial to each other in terms of the fans. It
Yeah,
was just a wonderful, wonderful day. And like I said, I know nothing about the actual game or who's on the team. I'm just there. At one point, I was looking out in the distance, and my husband thought I was looking at him. And he's like, "Are you all right?" I said, "Oh, yeah, I'm just looking at the view of the water because you look right over the river."
yeah.
And he's like, "Okay, as long as you're all right." I'm like, "Don't mind me. I'm here for the atmosphere.
That
I'm here for food."
that's what a lot of people do, food and atmosphere. And
Yeah.
I think Pittsburgh fans and Green Bay fans, they're both kind of two very old traditional NFL teams, and they have a lot of respect for each other. So I think
Mm-hmm.
that's why you see that kind of mutual respect when you're at a game like that. I personally, I love the Pittsburgh Steelers. If I was going to be an AFC fan, that's who I would probably cheer for.
There you
So
go.
anyway, not to belabor that, let's get back to
No.
Peter. Uh, so I am I am living in Sun Prairie, Wisconsin, as where that's exactly where I lived when you and I worked together 20 years ago. I live in a different house now. I live in a much older house because we started in a new house and then we kept moving back. So now our house is 100 years old. So
Oh my gosh.
we love that though.
That's
It's,
cool.
I always tell people, we live in a 1914 bungalow,
Hmm.
and I tell people when I walk into my house, it's like getting a hug from my grandma. So
Aw.
I really love that.
Aw.
Um, but yeah, we had four kids, and they are all grown and gainfully employed at this point in their lives. So that's good.
Congratulations. That's huge.
Yeah, that's
That's
a good
not
thing.
easy in this day and age.
They're off the payroll, as they say.
Yes.
And they all have been very self-sufficient over the years. So that's we've been lucky that way. And we do have a granddaughter now. Her name is
Woo.
Opal, and
Aw.
we love the Jesus out of her. So
Aw.
and we have another one on the way. So we are going to be
Yay.
dual grandparents, another girl. So we're pretty excited about that.
What's the due date?
Well, February, late February, basically. I think it's
Ooh.
February. I'm going to get in trouble for this, but I think it's like February 22nd or something like
We
that.
won't hold you to that.
Right.
Sometime this year. We're good. Yeah.
Babies have their own schedule anyway. So
Yeah, they do. They
when
come
she
when they
shows up,
want to.
right, exactly.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
And Opal is such a cute name.
Yeah, we love it. She's, every grandparent will tell you this. You can't get enough of them. It's
Ah.
just, it's not like your kids where you're like, go away, but
Yeah. Well, and so what I've heard is it is nice when you can just give them back.
yeah, right,
At the end
exactly.
of the day, it's like you
Yeah.
can just love them and squeeze them and have wonderful times and then we're done. for
Right.
today, for today.
And the real joy is to see your kids as parents. So
Mm.
that's kind of fun too. And you can also you can also see them sweating sometimes too. So that has its advantages too.
Yeah,
Anyway, so here I am in Sun Prairie still, and I had a video production company for about 15 years. I worked in corporate communications before that, and then my buddy Greg Sheevy, who
mhm.
we talked about before he retired, and we had another partner, Sandy Kowal, who was also at 27.
Yay, Sandy! Shout out to Sandy.
Shout out to Sandy. She's still doing it. She's still doing video production. I got out and I started working in real estate.
Oh, I was going to say, so going back to your production company, I did have the pleasure of working with you guys on some projects.
Yeah.
So that's when we did some work with the technical colleges in Wisconsin, but we can't forget the
Oh,
famous story
oh,
that's still out there today. The
it is
turkey,
still out there.
the Turkey Testicle Festival. That was for a separate little project, the justvisitus.com. Is that
Yep.
still
Nope.
still live? That's
Does not
fun.
exist.
Well, that was a fun stint, but yeah, that's what brought us to the Turkey Testicle Festival, Huntley, Illinois, and that that story still, it's one of those like forwards, that my dad got it as a forward recently, saying, "Is this your daughter?" And, yep, that was me. That was
How
me.
many millions of views has that had now?
I don't even know.
Excuse me, I'm fighting a little bit of a cough, but
Ugh.
the I think at the time when we were still in the business, when we still had the video production company, I think it was up over 1 million views at that time. And that was 6 years ago, and I haven't seen that story in, I don't know, probably 6 years. I haven't watched
Yeah.
it, but I can still picture the guy talking about what it's like to take a turkey testicle and pop it in your mouth. That's, in fact, I have bad dreams about that. So, so if you're ever just out there looking for something that's really going to gross you out, but kind of funny,
I
go on
know.
YouTube and search turkey testicle, and you will see Carrie's story.
The Turkey Testicle Festival. Yeah, and it just happened again. Somebody forwarded just the general story, like it's still happening. It
Did
was
you try
fun.
one?
I
Did you eat
did.
one?
I did.
Was it good?
It was fine. I was a little nervous. I was afraid it was going to explode in my
Yeah.
mouth.
Well, that's kind of what that guy talked about.
I know,
It's
but
like an explosion of flavor in
I
your
know,
mouth.
and I think it was less. I don't know. The words are not coming to me, but it was better than I expected. That's all I'll say.
Okay. All right. But still, our biggest view getter out there. I mean, we did documentaries, we did a bunch of other stories, but of course you put the word
Uh,
mystical in a story, and a lot of
right.
people are going to, find it somehow. So I
Yeah.
don't know how the internet works, but
Yeah. The literal secret sauce. Just say testicle.
no,
No. Okay, that's the end of that.
that's
No
it.
more of that. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I think we've done our intro. Now you know who we are and why we're here and what our plan is. So, moving forward, we will be interviewing old friends. We will explore things we're curious about with experts in their fields, and we'll just see where this thing goes.
We're gonna have fun.
Yeah, we are.
If nothing else, we're gonna have fun.
That's right. Exactly. We're going to learn some stuff, have some laughs, and hopefully you'll enjoy it as well. One listener. Hopefully
Well,
we'll
your
grow.
mom will listen, your sister, my wife,
That's right.
maybe my
Aaron,
kids if
my
they're not too
husband.
busy.
Yeah, that's right. Same. No, hopefully we'll grow an old news family and have a good time along the way.
All right. Well, stay tuned for more old news
Stay
ahead.
tuned.
Thanks for tuning in to Old News with Dan and Carrie.
That's old news for now.
Join us next time.